What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Dragons podcast. I hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining me. Can I just say before we get into this, thank you so much for all the support you've given me so far. It means the absolute world to me that I am able to speak about my passion, which is Wrexham AFC, and that you guys are all enjoying the content. It means everything to me. Remember, keep hitting like, keep hitting that subscription button, and keep commenting on my videos to tell me what you think, what your opinions are, and if there's something you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comments of this video. So let's get on and have a look at Saturday. Now, Saturday can be a big banana skin for us. Let's make no bones about it. Maidenhead, they might sit 14th, but they're coming into this game on the back of 3 wins. Pretty impressive form for a team that has struggled. Their defensive record isn't great. They've conceded 46 and they don't score many. They've only scored 38. So for a team like Wrexham, who've scored 88 and conceded 32, you would think this would be straightforward and pretty plain sailing. But we know Wrexham and we know what it's like to go to Maidenhead. Who can forget Rob and Ryan's first experience of Wrexham AFC live and in the flesh? We all remember that Bryce Hosanna red card that subsequently got changed to Paul Mullin, don't we? We all remember the 3-2 defeat that year. Now, what has happened in other games that we have played against Maidenhead? Well, let's have a look. Earlier this season, we beat them at the racecourse 1-0, thank you to a goal by Aaron Hayden. However, Aaron Hayden is injured, so that means he isn't playing at the weekend. We then drew with them 1-1 at home last year. There was a sending off, and in fact, it was Paul Mullin who got sent off that game. And then earlier in the season is when Rob and Ryan had come over in 21. So that was the 26th of October 2021. And that was a 3-2 defeat with a Bryce Hosanna sending off. So all in all, not a great run of results. Now, this is a game that historically is quite tight between the two teams. No team really tends to run away with it. It tends to be 1 or 2 goals either way. So it's going to be a really hard fought game. Let's be completely and absolutely honest. And let's look at the games that Maidenhead have won. They beat Yeovil 2-0, Halifax 1-0, and Dagenham and Redbridge 2-1. So again, 3 really good wins. Dagenham were coming off the back of beating Notts County. And Halifax, they bounced back to win 5-0. There's a lot of evenly matched teams in this division, and for Maidenhead to have had that run of form is really good after they'd lost to Southend and Eastleigh, respectively. But what about the Reds? Well, what can you say about the Reds? 4 wins on the spin after the draw to Woking. Aldershot, Scunthorpe, Dorking and Chesterfield all brushed aside, and Chesterfield was the performance of the lot. It was a very good performance by the boys. Elliot Lee again on the score sheet, and Sam Dolby. What a man. What a player. What a man. But if I had to go with anything, and the prediction is going to go right up here, right now, I am going to go for a 3-1 Wrexham victory. I just think this season we are a different gravy to what we've been previously. I get the feeling that the boys know how important it is that we get promoted this season and that we really push on and get back to the Football League, because again, it will increase the calibre of player we get. Team news and who to expect or injuries hasn't been released as of yet. Obviously, Jordan Tunnicliffe took a few knocks on Tuesday night, probably got a broken nose, I think, looking at comments he's made on Instagram. So there is possibility that Owen O'Connell comes in for him, or if Owen O'Connell is fit, he might come in for Max Cleworth, who in fairness has looked very assured at the back and shows no real concerns as far as I'm concerned. I really like Max. Then you've got Jordan Davis. He's back to nearing full fitness. I wouldn't say he's back at full fitness. He's 100% not back at match fitness, but the games he's come off the bench, he has had a nice impact on, and he's done really well. The most impressive player, for me in this little run is Andy Cannon. What a player he is going to be. Our midfield will be stacked with talent. Now, you have to then ask who could miss out next season. If we go, could Luke Young potentially miss out? James Jones, because you're going to have O'Connor, Elliot Lee, Andy Cannon, Jordan Davis, Luke Young, James Jones, any other players that we look to bring in. It's going to be a stacked midfield. But personally, I wouldn't change anything if I don't have to. I'd keep the same lineup. And it was actually the first time we'd named an unchanged lineup since the opening day of the season. So that's the opening 2 games of the season, should I say, which shows that Phil has found the team he likes. Yes, he'd like to have Aaron Hayden back in, but Aaron Hayden's not fit. So stick with what's getting the results. Stick with what's winning games. Don't change it if you don't have to. Let's have a quick look at the league table then. So obviously Notts County are in second with 83 points. Dorking miles behind on 62. And you got Barnet, Chesterfield, Eastleigh, and Southend, all separated by just 3 points. And Barnet are on a run of form that is going to see them plummet out of the playoffs if they don't turn that round quickly. But what about Notts County this weekend? So Notts County have the long trip to Bromley. That is not an easy game. You look at the head-to-head. Bromley have got it on head-to-head. But Notts County, the form actually isn't that difference between the two teams, as you can see here. It really, really isn't. But you just don't know what's going to happen. It really is kind of it's a game you expect Notts County to win. The big question you have with Notts County is how badly have they been affected mentally by losing that game? Because it was a game against Dagenham they shouldn't have lost. They dominated the game. They hit the post multiple times. Yes, some of their fans are moaning about a penalty they didn't have. But when you hit the post 3 times, there's only so much blame you can put on the referee. It was a bad decision, absolutely no doubt about it. But you still conceded 2 goals. You still got done on the counter-attack twice. Why aren't you looking at that and saying, that's not good enough defensively? That is poor. That's shocking. We should not be getting done like that. Instead, what you're doing is you're passing the blame and you're not focusing on what is evidently a big weakness for you. Now, for me, if I was the Notts County fans, and then I'd be looking at that. Yes, the penalty's frustrating, but it wouldn't be my focus of everything. It would very much be a case of I need to see an improvement defensively. It's as simple as that, really. In the recent last 4 games, against Notts County, has been 2 draws and a defeat. But to Notts County, so Bromley actually beat Notts County in January last year. That's the last defeat in this fixture, and then obviously we have tomorrow's. Let's have a look at the rest of the fixtures. Prior to that one, Notts County had drawn with them at home. They lost to them in May 2021. They drew with them in May 2021 as well. It's been, Notts County have not beaten Bromley since January 2020. Doesn't seem that long ago, and yes, there's not many games in there, but you'd argue that the form is with Notts County in this game. Sorry, with Bromley in this game in terms of the 2 teams going head-to-head. I still think Notts County will come out of this one with a win. I do. But I'd absolutely love it. I would love it. I'm going to channel my inner Kevin Keegan, and I would love it if Bromley beat Notts County. Because it would let us open a bit of a gap. And do you know what? I think if Notts County win on Saturday at 3 o'clock, it puts so much more pressure on our boys. We've got to, them losing would ease the pressure a little bit. That said, this Wrexham team is more than good enough to keep top spot. There's more than enough talent in it, and I am backing the boys. So, prediction is coming up here. As I said before, it's still here. It's 3-1, and that is everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We will do a recap of the Saturday's games on Saturday evening, so keep an eye out for that video, and I will see you all really, really soon. Have a good one, guys. With the mighty army, Wrexham is the name.